What if I told you that you could emerge from this winter completely unrecognizable? The season that most people spend waiting for warmth is the season that you could use to ignite something unstoppable. This is your chance to step into the quiet, do the work that no one sees, and prepare for the version of you that's ready to conquer anything. Winter is the season to build the foundation that spring will bloom upon. Your future self is created in the quiet moments of today. This winter is your beginning. This is your winter arc, and it starts right here. A winter arc refers to the coldest, darkest days of the year. It's the season where you build discipline, you set goals, and you make progress towards that version of yourself that you want to be and lay that foundation for the success for months and years to come. The end of the year is approaching, but there is so much time still left in this year. So why wait until January rolls around to start? Why not go ahead and get a head start so that by the time January rolls around, you're already huge leaps and bounds ahead of where you would be. You're already in a routine and you're already seeing progress from the consistent work you've done while no one was watching. Imagine this for a moment. It's spring, you're at the beach, and you look at yourself in the mirror at your body, and you see yourself confident and strong and healthy. You have built those habits that have carried you through, and now you're reaping the rewards. Or picture yourself looking at your bank account and seeing the fruits of your hard work, knowing that you've built something so sustainable that has completely changed your life. And the reason that you're there is because you chose to do the work in the winter when no one was watching and whenever everyone else was resting, you chose to invest in yourself. In this video, we're going to talk about how to lock in, refocus, and dial in on our goals so that you can have a successful winter arc and start 2025 30 steps ahead. None of this will happen if you don't have the right mindset. The way you think, how you push through challenges, it all starts right here. To truly transform this winter in your winter arc, you have to believe that you can. I know you can. And no matter how down in the dumps you might feel or how far away you might feel from your goals, I want you to really hear me when I say this, that it's 1,000% possible for you to hit the goals you want to hit. Now, I'm not trying to invalidate anybody's circumstances or anybody's feelings, and I'm not saying it's not going to be hard to get rid of those bad habits, those toxic people, the feeling of walking into a job that feels like it just leaves you lifeless. But you have to believe that you can do it. A key mindset shift with this is stop thinking this is going to be hard and think no one else is going to do this. It's so easy to sit here and think that it's going to be too tough, but just remember that the hardest roads lead to the most incredible destinations. The fact that it's hard means that you're on the right path, and the fact that it's challenging, that means that you're growing. The more you face, the stronger you become, and whenever you go from thinking this is going to be hard to this is my opportunity, that's the moment that everything changes. Alex Hormozi actually talked about this in a podcast, and ever since then I just haven't gotten it out of my head because it is so true. You go from thinking, poor me, I have this hard road to walk and this hard path to follow, to poor everyone else because they're gonna have to actually try, and I'm already leaps and bounds ahead and I'm reaping the rewards, I'm seeing the progress. You have to stand tall in the fact that you want something different for yourself and that you won't stop until you reach that vision. While everyone else is out partying, you're at home working on your business, or you're meal prepping and going to bed early so that you can get that workout in the next day because you are prioritizing your goals. It's literally up to you to choose your priorities because nobody else is going to choose them for you. And when you make those same choices time and time again, they're going to compound, and it's either going to push you closer to your goals or it's going to push you further and further away. I know that mindset shift can be a little harsh and maybe a little blunt, but it is truly going to change the game for you. And once you've made that shift, it's time to create a plan and stick to it. no matter what. Trying to hit a goal without having a plan is like walking around a dark room with a blindfold trying to find the exit. It is so much harder and takes so much longer than it actually has to. Having a clear plan and a schedule that you can just plug in and show up for and know that as long as you're doing these things, you are getting closer to your goals is going to be so much more beneficial than trying to scramble and figure out what your next move is going to be. It's exhausting, and not even accounting for the decision fatigue of trying to figure out what you should prioritize, versus if you have a schedule and you have a plan, you know what you need to do when you need to do it. I was scrolling on Instagram the other day and I caught wind of this trend that I think is so cool, and it's involving ChatGPT. So if you haven't used ChatGPT before, it is an AI website. They also have an app, and you can basically ask it anything and it'll basically tailor that answer to your question. It's a little more detailed and direct than Google, and I love it. So it's completely free. They do have a paid version, but you definitely don't need it. You just need the free version of it to do this. So they are prompting it to give them a day in their life as their highest and best selves. And whenever you're able to do this prompt and you get this answer, it gives you such a clearer picture of what it would look like to actually live a day in your dream life. First, you write down your goals, you write how you want your life to look and what you want to have. You're going to type those into ChatGPT, and then you're going to ask it to tell you a story of a day in the life as your future self using that description. And I want you to use this to really gain clarity on your goals and get a really good idea of what that day-to-day would look like, so that you can really embody those feelings and envision it so much more clearly every single day. Something I've done that has completely changed the game for me with ChatGPT, and I highly suggest that you do this, is I have it make a schedule for me. What is so cool about this is you can have it completely tailored to your needs and what you have to do day to day. And by being able to be so specific, you're able to get directly on that path to success so much quicker, and know that as long as you're just doing this schedule, that you're going to reach those goals. This is what I did, and this has honestly made such a big difference for me, and it will for you too, especially if you feel like you have a lot to juggle. And also, before doing this, I did do a little exercise with myself because I felt like I just needed a little regroup and clarity, so that I knew exactly what details I wanted to give ChatGPT. So I created a chart and I put the problem on one side and the solution on the other. And the solution was something I would put into ChatGPT that I knew I needed to put into my schedule. And by doing a chart like this, it allows me to actually acknowledge the problem but not dwell on it and actually focus on the solution. So after I did this, I went to ChatGPT and I told it my goals. I told it how much money I wanted to make, what I wanted to be doing, my dream car I wanted to drive, where I wanted to live, and the things I had to do every single day. And I had it give me a weekly schedule that would put me on the path to those goals. So for example, let's say you have a 9-to-5, but you want to build a YouTube channel. You could say your goal is to make $200,000 a year on YouTube and to drive an all-black Mercedes G-Wagon, and you want to live in $1 million plus home. Then you would want to tell it, I work a 9-to-5 Monday through Friday. It's a 30-minute commute to and from work. It takes me an hour to get ready. It takes me an hour to eat dinner at night. To script a video, it takes me 4 hours. To film a video, it takes me 5 hours. And to edit a video, it takes me 10 hours. I want to upload every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. and I have to meal prep for 2 hours a week on every Monday. Like, these are the details you want to give it, and whenever you can do that, it's going to give you an hour by hour, day by day description and schedule for you to follow to make sure you actually fit in everything. So put that in, see what it gives you, and then you can keep refining it and adding things in until you reach a schedule that has either given you an idea of how to write your own schedule, more clarity, or an actual schedule that you know you can follow. But ChatGPT is a free tool, so literally why not use it? And it's amazing that it can get you so clear on these goals, because it can be overwhelming to write a schedule, and it's a lot to account for. So just being able to tell it, hey, here's my situation, here's what I have to do, here's how much time I have to do these things, and that it takes me to do these things, write me a schedule, and it just gives it to you. It's great. Try it. I promise it's life-changing. I want you to hear me on this one. Follow your plan and not your mood. We've all had those moments where we just feel a burst of energy and we feel like we can run through a wall, and then the next minute you're just overwhelmed, you don't know where to start, and then you just do nothing. Motivation is like that flaky friend that you try to make plans with, and you never know if they're gonna show up or not. They're just not reliable. You cannot rely on motivation. If you only follow your mood and when you feel motivated, you will never be consistent. And consistency is key when you're building success. If you only follow your mood and when you feel motivated, you will never reach your goals, because reaching your goals requires consistency. And if you don't have consistency, you're not gonna get anywhere. Now that you have a clear vision of what the day-to-day looks like in your dream life and the perfect schedule to get there, you just have to stick to it regardless of how you feel. Our feelings are fleeting, but our goals are not. If you keep waiting until you're in the perfect headspace to work out, or you're in a inspired mood to sit down and write, you're never going to do it. You're just gonna keep putting it off. But if you follow your plan and not your mood, that's when real progress happens. That's when discipline takes over, and discipline will take you where you want to go. Think about it. No one ever achieved greatness because they waited until they felt like doing something. Successful people don't rely on their mood. They rely on consistency. They follow the plan whether they're tired or they just want to stay in bed, because they know that every step they take, no matter how small, is one step closer to their dreams. And with this comes sacrifice. For example, if your friends are all out partying and you're at home building your business, are you gonna go out with them, stay out all night and sleep in all day the next day? Or are you gonna stay home, work on your business, and then get up early the next day and go work out and reach your goals? Again, you have to choose your priorities, because no one else is going to do it for you. So next time your mood tries to talk you out of your plan, just remember that your future self is counting on you, and they're counting on you to show up whether you feel like it or not. And trust me, when you start following your plan and not your mood, you will start unlocking potential you didn't even know you had, and you will start seeing some real progress. From now on, let every choice you make be in alignment with the vision that you have for yourself. For your winter arc, instead of creating a vision board, create an action board. An action board is very similar to a vision board, but instead of focusing on the goals themselves, they're focused more so on the action and the steps that it takes to get to those goals. Sometimes we can look at a vision board, and while we are inspired by these photos of the things that we want so badly, you can feel this gap between those goals and you. Versus an action board, you do have your goals on that board, but you can see how the dots connect. You can see the actions that you need to take every single day, and it holds you accountable to take those actions. They're also more short-term than vision boards because they are so action-based. And you would create this just like you would a vision board by finding the pictures you love on Pinterest or magazines or whatever you usually find your pictures from whenever you create a vision board. You're just gonna look for pictures that also represent the actions towards those goals instead of just the goals themselves. And it doesn't always have to be pictures. It can be actual words, it can be quotes, it can be, I've seen people where they have written out their entire winter arc and the steps they're going to take in that winter arc and what they're doing, so that every time they see their board, they see exactly what it is they're supposed to be doing and the motivation to do it, and then also the result that they're going to get by doing those things. So for instance, if I put my YouTube goals on there, I'm gonna put like upload once a week, or I'm going to put like script one video a week. Just things that I know that whenever I see that board, I know I need to do. And whenever you make your action board, put it everywhere. Put it on your lock screen, on your phone, on your desktop. Get it printed out and put it on your mirror, put it in your car, put it everywhere you're going to see it. In your winter arc, you want to create a motto. Put this motto on your action board and repeat this to yourself constantly, especially whenever you're having bad days or you feel limiting beliefs and intrusive thoughts coming in. Repeat this motto to yourself and lean on it to keep pushing you through those really hard days. Every great story has a theme, and it's a principle that holds it all together. Your winter arc is no different. This isn't a season just about setting goals. It's about creating an identity, a mindset, and a mission that will carry you through. And one of the most powerful ways to stay grounded is to create a motto for yourself. Think about it like a compass that will point you towards your goals on the days that feel the worst. Think of it as the sentence that defines your winter arc. It's what you'll keep coming back to whenever you're tired, you're doubting yourself, or you're feeling overwhelmed. It's a very quick reminder of who you're becoming and why you're doing this. So a couple examples of mottos could be: do the work no one else will, earn your spring, focus on progress, not perfection. It's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be worth it. Commit to the vision, not the mood. Whatever motto you choose, and you can use ChatGPT to help you come up with something, it needs to be something that resonates with you, and whenever you hear it, it just sparks that fire in you and it makes you want to take action, and it reminds you of who you're becoming and why you're doing what you're doing. It's a declaration that this winter you're stepping into something stronger, something bigger, and something unshakable. So make sure to comment down below what your winter arc motto is going to be. So a big part of this winter arc also is to implement the healthy habits that we know the best versions of ourselves would have. We all know deep down what we need to do to hit the goals that we want. It's just a matter of, are we actually going to implement the habits that are going to get us there? Think back to a time in your life when it felt like everything was just going right and you were seeing progress. What were you doing on a day-to-day basis? Were you reading nonfiction? Were you working out every day? Were you going to bed early? Were you waking up early? What were you doing to help you see that progress? And how can you bring that back into your winter arc? I know for me, whenever I'm reading nonfiction, I'm so much more motivated, I'm so much more inspired, and I just get more things done. It's a fact, and I know that the best times in my life, whenever I've seen the most progress, is when I've been reading or listening to a lot of nonfiction. So that's something that I really try to make sure I do, is to make time to read my nonfiction books. The real challenge isn't knowing what to do, it's actually doing it consistently. So start incorporating these habits into your day-to-day. Make sure to include them in your ChatGPT prompt. And that way they're in your schedule already every day and you don't even have to think about making time for them because you already have them worked into your plan. One way I also really love to build these new habits is to habit stack, which is something that is in the book Atomic Habits, but it's basically where you pair a new habit with an existing habit. So for instance, you could pair brushing your teeth with putting on your workout clothes. Or whenever you have your morning coffee, that's whenever you write your daily gratitude. And a lot of us can say, oh, I don't have the time, I'm so busy, yada, 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 which, like I said, you should have it into your schedule from ChatGPT. But if you're still thinking that, if you think health and wellness takes a lot of time, imagine being sick. Think of all the time and money you lose when you're sick. It is just not worth it. When you could put in the time in these healthy habits every single day and only push yourself further and further towards your goals instead of having it compound into not doing them, and then you're just down and out for a long time, and then you're behind on everything, and then you're further away from your goals than you've ever been. It's just not worth it. So just make the time for your healthy habits and implement them. Habits are truly the foundation of who you're becoming. You can dream of a better version of yourself all day long, but until you start to do the things that actually align with that version of yourself, nothing is going to change. So this winter arc is your time to stop procrastinating and start being resilient. Start implementing the healthy habits you know are going to make you stronger, sharper, and push you towards the best version of yourself that you've dreamed of for so long. In this winter arc, you're also going to want to create a space that reflects your highest self. As humans, we are just naturally heavily influenced by our environment. I know that if my space is messy and dirty and chaotic, that's going to reflect how my mindset is. And that makes it 10 times harder to actually want to do things and to get things done. Versus if my space is clean and bright and organized, I can think so much better and I'm so much more motivated to get things done. So look around in the space where you spend your most time in and ask yourself, is it a place that you can thrive in? Is this a space that you can become the best version of yourself in? Or is it dull and cluttered and more of a representation of who you've been instead of who you're going to become? Create the space that your highest self would have. And I'm not saying you have to spend a ton of money or move to this bougie place. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying to take care of your space. Make sure it's clean, make sure it's organized, because that's how the best version of yourself will thrive, and that's how they would have their space. And do not underestimate the power of lighting. Just opening your blinds or curtains or getting a cozy lamp that'll just set the mood with lighting can literally transform a space. Intentionally creating a space for the person that you want to be is one of the most powerful things that you can do in your winter arc. It's not about making your space perfect. It's about making it purposeful. Because whenever your environment reflects your goals, it is so much easier to show up for them. Your space will become the physical representation of the energy that you're stepping into. And it's a place where you can reset, refocus, and recharge. I know we've talked about a lot in this video, and if there is nothing else that you take away, at least take this. And that is to do what you say you're going to do. Because if you can actually keep the promises that you make to yourself, there's nothing in this life that you won't be able to do. It's become so normalized for us to just let ourselves down, and that has to stop. Just create the plan and execute. And if you have an idea that just excites you, act on it as fast as you possibly can. So many times we get these amazing ideas, which I call intuitive downloads, but we get these downloads and we think that they're amazing and we get so excited about them. And then we start to think about them and we start to create space between our thought and the action. And then our limiting beliefs crawl in and then nothing happens. You've spent so much time talking yourself out of doing that thing and you've created so much space there that nothing happens. And then you're just left wondering, what if? Do not make space for limiting beliefs. We'll sit here all day and follow through on our promises to other people. But when it comes to ourselves, that's rarely the case. And that's exactly why nothing has changed. And if you've had multiple instances in the past, or even just one instance in the past, where you have let yourself down, where you feel like you don't have this self-confidence in yourself, you have to stop punishing yourself for where you've been and start celebrating the future that you're going to have. Because looking in the past isn't gonna do anything for you but push you further away from your future. Your past failures do not define you. Honestly, without them, you probably wouldn't appreciate the success as much because you would know what that failure feels like. It's like whenever you have a bad relationship, then you have a great relationship. You appreciate that great relationship so much more because you know what it's like to be in an awful one. And without those failures, you wouldn't have the knowledge that you have. So learn from the choices that you've made and use them to sculpt the future that you want to create. You also need to follow your intuition. Here's the thing, a lot of us know exactly what we need to do to get to where we need to go. You don't need to watch a whole bunch of videos, you don't need to watch a whole bunch of podcasts, you know exactly what it is that you need to do. And sometimes the things we know we have to do are hard choices to make because they could change the entire dynamic of our lives, but it'll be in the best way. But these choices have to be made and these actions have to be taken because you can't waste your time lying yourself into being passionate about something or being in alignment with something when to your core, you're not happy. So cut out the things that absolutely drain you, or at the very least, if you can't cut them out, learn how to work with them. Do not ever try to spend your time making something work that you know deep down just is not for you. We all have so many battles that we fight every single day, so why would you pick a losing battle to fight in when you have to go bust your butt in the good battles that you could win? Why would you spend energy in these losing ones that you know are only going to drain you? So why not pick the good battles? Because yes, you still have to bust your butt in them, but the victory is the dream vision that you have for yourself. For me, I would get so grumpy over the little things that I couldn't control, and then I would let those become distractions from my actual goals. And I'd get so upset and I would dwell on them, and it does nothing for me, nothing. It just hurts me. It hurts nobody else. Just me and my goals, and it pushes me further from what I want out of life. And only you are in your shoes. Only you know every aspect, every detail in your situation. You're the only one that can make the decision of what you need to do to get to where you need to go if it is a harder decision to make. And while it could raise eyebrows on the outside, you have to stand strong in that decision and know that it was right for you, whatever that might be. Only you know what you feel and think, and you can see what you want so clearly. Only you know what you have to do to get there. I know winter can be a dark and depressing season, but it doesn't have to be. Leverage this time to do the work and become that version of yourself so that by the time that spring and summer roll around, you can reap those rewards and actually sustain those changes. I'm here for you, and I am so excited to see the version of you that you become. I really hope this video gave you the kickstart that you needed to take action into your winter arc, because I know for a fact that you can hit your goals. Just get a plan, put one foot in front of the other, and then by the time you look back, you'll either be at your goals or you'll be closer than you ever thought was possible. And it'll happen before you even know it. So thank you so much for watching. And if there's any particular tip that really stood out to you and just made that little click in your head, comment that down below. Or if you have any tips of your own, leave those in the comments as well. But thank you so much for watching. It truly means the world to me that you're here, so thank you. And I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Bye.